In the previous class, in the previous video, uh, I've shown you the process of dry run, how to do dry run. This is the previous execution, and I've shown this process for the program. It is just printing a pattern of 5 numbers. Right. Now let us come to the next question. So this kind of questions, when this kind of questions where you can see mm, uh, there are the number of lines. The first line there is one is there. In the second line there is one two. Third line there is one two three. So this kind of pattern questions, what you have to do first, you have to consider it as rows and columns. So try to make this kind of box whenever this kind of questions comes. Try to make this kind of box and consider each and every line here as a row, and the above line above and this corresponding line as column. And consider these corresponding lines as column. Now, the first thing that you have to observe is how many rows are there. So there are number of rows is 4, right? So number of rows, as I have written here, number of rows is 4 here. So there are 4 rows. And now, this number of rows will determine your outer loop basically. What will be your outer loop? That will depend on the this number of rows. Now, since there are 4 rows, so consider a variable consider a variable. So in my case, I am considering variable I for rows. So this I will be used only for this row. Okay, so I equal to 1 means this row, this row. I equal to 2 means this entire row, this entire row. I equal to 3 means this entire row. I equal to 4 means this entire row. So this is how uh, you have to think. Okay. Now after you define this variable I, and you basically I equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3. So not always that this numbering will be correct. Sometimes we may have to change it. But always whatever the starting value and ending value I have, the count must always be 4. For example, here I equal to 1 to 4. So it means that if I run a loop, then my loop will execute 4 times, because my starting value is 1 and ending value is 4. So no matter how many number, what number you put here as a starting and ending value, let's say you can put here I equal to 0 and I equal to 3. Okay. So for that example, I equal to 1, I equal to 2. So I equal to 0 means will be this row, 1 means will be this row. But but you have to keep in mind that the count must have to be 4. Count must have to be 4. So here you can see the count is 4. So the loop will execute even if you start from 0 to 3, 0 to 3, then also the loop will execute 4 times. But what will be your starting and ending value for this I? That is most important thing. Okay, so you have to first figure out what will be my starting value for I and ending value for I. So here, let us first consider I equal to 1 to 4. We are not changing anything. Now see here that in the first row there is one number. In the first row, one number is there. Only one number, that is 1. In the second row, 2 numbers are there. Third row, 3 numbers are there. Fourth row, 4 numbers. So see, you can find the relation here, right? So you can see that whenever there is I equal to 1, whenever I equal to 1, in the corresponding row, there is only one number. So I equal to 2, there is only two numbers. So you can see that you can find a relation here. You can find a relation here. So if you have to consider instead of 1, here if you have to consider I equal to 0, then that relation is not there, right? So for I equal to 0, there is one column. So this relation is little bit complex. So you have to add 1 to it each time. So let's say for I equal to 0, there is one more column. So 0 plus 1 equal to 1. So one number is there. For I equal to 1, 1 plus 1 equals to 2 number is there. For I equal to 2, 2 plus 1, 3 numbers are there. So you have to add 1 to each I value to get the number of rows. So it becomes a complex operation to adding 1. So why do complex operation when you have the choice to do it simply? right? When you have the choice to do it simply. So you can easily take I as 1, and for I equal to 1 there is one number. So why it is very useful now, also why it is very useful, this is one thing that you can see that considering initial value of I as 1 is very useful. Another thing that you have to keep in mind while considering the starting value and ending value of I is that you see here what is the end value here. For each and every row, you try to see the what is the end value. So your outer loop will be I equal to 1 to 4. So this line, so this is your outer loop. So basically your outer loop will start from 1 and end at 4. And inside this outer loop, you have to do another. You have to basically write another loop to print this to print the numbers in each row. This will count. This I will count the number of number of rows you have. Number of times this yeah, the number of times you have to repeat something. But the actual pattern will come in the inner loop. Actual pattern, that is to determine the each and to print each and every number in each row. You have to do another. You have to write another loop. So for that loop, what you have to do is that you have to see the n numbers here for each row. So जैसे कि इस पहले रो में 1 is the last and first number, right? So you can see, and for the second row 2 is the last number. For the third row 3 is the last number. For the fourth row 4 is the last number. So you have to find a pattern between the value of I for each row and the ending value for each row. So for this row, consider this row. Let us first consider the first row. For first row, the value of I is 1 and the ending value is 1. So you can see there is a relation. Both are same. So also in the second row, the last value that is there is 2 and the value of I is equals to also 2. For third row also, I equals to 3 and the last value that is there in the row is also 3. For the fourth row, it is also same. So when you find this kind of pattern between I and the ending value for each row, if you find that pattern and it is very easy to spot, then for sure you have considered the right starting value for I and starting value for I. Okay, so this I equal to 1 is now very useful. First of all, you solve the problem of how many numbers will be there, and second, you also find a pattern between the ending number for each row and the value of I. So now this is for sure that your I equal to 1 to 4 is the correct answer for your it will be there in the outer loop, that is for sure. So now you write the for loop first. This is the outer loop, and you start the second bracket and you put the second bracket here. You basically leave some space, and then whenever you do this kind of problem, basically it is very very since you are writing it on a using pen and paper. So basically leave some space here, and after writing the outer loop, leave some space here basically, because sometimes we have to do some variable initialization here. So leave some space and then start the inner loop. So what will be the inner loop now? Now this is the second question, right? So you have found the pattern, you have found the relation between the I and the ending value for each row. Now what you can see here that if you write a for loop and for for loop you consider another variable basically, not for in the outer loop, for outer loop the loop variable is I, and for inner loop the loop variable will be j. So both have to be different. They cannot be same. So or they may be depending on the question, but most of the time they are not same. So j equal to 1, j equal to 1. So why you are writing j equal to 1? Because basically for each row you can see that your starting value is 1. For each row your starting value is 1, and your ending value is basically same as the value of I. So for this row your starting value will be 1, but the ending value will be your value of I. For this row, starting value is 1 and ending value will be the value of I. So if you try to write a loop which will start at 1 and stop whenever it gets to the value of equal to the value of I. So you try to write a loop that that will start from 1 and stop whenever it gets to the value of I. Okay. So what we do, j equals to 1, j less than equals to I. So basically it will start from 1, that is for sure, because you can see here each and every number for each row is 1. Starting number is 1. But the end number is different for different row. So but that number is related to the value of I. So when the loop will start from 1 and keep increasing, basically start from 1 and keep increasing until it gets to the value of I. So you can see how this is correct, because for consider for I equal to 1. For I equal to 1, this will be correct because j will start from 1 and then executed body, and then again it would increase to 2, but this condition would have false there because I is 1. Because as you can see for Dryden, when I am showing you the Dryden, for I equal to 1, for I equal to 1, I equal to 1, the inner loop must have to run. So for I equal to 1, the inner loop first have to run. So in inner loop, j is equals to 1 and then prints the value of j. This is the line that will be executed after. So j1 is printed, and then its value gets increased by 2. So when j becomes 2, basically this equation becomes false because 2 in j you put 2 less than equal to I is 1, so this is false, right? So now it will get out of the loop, and after the loop this line is there. After it will get out of the loop, after the loop you can see this line is there. So this means if the cursor will go to the print system.out.println, this is for getting the cursor to the next line. This is something like I'm writing print only, no? So the cursor will not get to the next line. But after printing the first row, I have to go to the next line. So I have to write this statement here. So the cursor will go to the next line. Now the 1 is printed and cursor is now in the next line. And it will again go to the body, and I value is increased because it is basically increment value. For I equal to 2, now again inner loop will be done. How many times? 2 times. For j equal to 2, 2 will be printed. For j equal to 3, sorry, uh, for j I equal to 2, again j will run from 1, and for 1, 1 will be printed. So this is now cursor in the next line, so 1 is printed. For j equal to 2, again 2 will be printed. So this is on the same line, because we are still executing this inner loop, because now in the previous case I value was 1, so after executing 1 time the inner loop was stopped, but here I value is 2, so it will run 2 times basically. So after printing 2 with a space, this inner loop will be stopped because the condition will be false now, and it will execute the next line. It will execute this line, which will get the cursor to the next line. And for I equal to 3 also it will be printed. For I equal to 3, the j loop will run 3 times. For j equal to 1, j equal to 2, j equal to 3, and for each one, 3 number will be printed in the next line with a space, obviously. So this is how the pattern will go for 4 times for I equal to 4. Okay, so this is how the loop is executed. This is how you should solve any question, this type of questions. Okay, so now here 2 notes are there. Outer loop depends on the number of rows. So basically your outer loop always will depend on the number of rows. You will always try to but one thing that you have to keep in mind, that what will be your initial value for I, what will be the initial value of I, basically that is the important thing that you have to take care of. what will be where you will start and where you will stop, and how to get a good value for that. How to get an understanding that what will be your starting value and stop value. Basically, you try to find the relation between this relation. So first you try to see that since there are one number in the first row, so if you start from one, so it is very easier to count that for I equal to one there is one number, for I equal to two there is two numbers. So basically, this is an optional condition. This may not have to be true for all the time, but the condition that has to be true is that the start ending value for each row must have to have a relation with the value of I. So हर एक रो में जो लास्ट वैल्यू होगा, जैसे कि यहाँ पर 1 है इस रो में, यहाँ पर 2 है इस रो में, उसके साथ आई का वैल्यू करस्पॉन्डिंग जो आई का वैल्यू होगा, इस रो में आई का करस्पॉन्डिंग वैल्यू होगा 1, इस रो में आई का करस्पॉन्डिंग वैल्यू 2, तो उन दोनों में एक रिलेशन होना चाहिए. अगर वो रिलेशन तुमको मिल गया, if you find the relation, then whatever value you have considered for the I is good and you can go with it. Okay. And here another note is also there. Inner loop depends on the number of elements for each row. Basically, in inner loop, you will try to print the row, right? Each row. In the inner loop, we try to print each row. But after finding a relation with I. After finding a relation with I. Now, let us come to this question. Okay, now you can see here the number, something you can see here. So this kind of questions, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you try to solve similar thing, but instead of 1, 2, 3, you try to solve it. So this is a homework for you. Try to solve it. Try to solve this question. Okay. Basically, the homework is that you try to print this pattern. Okay, so you try to print this pattern. Instead of 1 to numbers, you have only stars now. Okay, so it is very easy now. Instead of numbers, you have stars. So try to solve this also. Okay, try to solve this in home, and after solving it, you send me the answer. Now, let us come to this question. So now here you can see that also another type of pattern, star pattern. These are called star pattern. So this is the homework that I've given you. This is also star pattern. This is also star pattern. Instead of numbers, we have stars. Okay. So now this kind of star patterns are very easy to basically, but the basic funda that I've told you before is same for each and every, for each and every case. Okay. So now let us first see how many numbers are there in each. Let us first count the number of rows. So the number of rows here is 5. So that I've written here. Number of rows is 5. And now count the number of elements that are there in each row. So 5 stars are there in first row. Say 4 stars are there in the second row. 3 stars are there in the third row. Similarly, 1 star is there in the fifth row. Now you try to find a good value of I. So now you first of all, let us start with a good value. We do not know how to find it. Let us start with a value of I equal to 1. So when you start with a value of I equal to 1, 2, and you label it, basically you are labeling each and every row. So this row is I equal to 1, this row is I equal to 2, this row is I equal to 3, this row is I equal to 4, this row is I equal to 5. Now what you should do, first thing that you should see that, try to see that is the value of I determining the number of elements that are there in each row. Is the value of I, is the value of the question is the value of I determining the number of stars are there in each row. So you see I equal to 1. For I equal to 1, there is 5 elements, 5 stars. For I equal to 2, there is 4 stars. So the condition, there is no direct relation, right? But if you try to see it in another way, let's say you label this, instead of starting from 1, if you start from 5, Now you can see since there is a five stars are there, so try to see it in an opposite way. So instead of writing it instead of starting from 1 to 5, you start from 5 to 1. In that case also there is five rows, right? If you start from 1 to 5, there will be 5 rows. If you start from 5 to 1, the count also will be 5. So both are okay. So if you start from I equal to 5 to 1, you can see that there is a direct relationship. For I equal to 5, there are 5 stars. For I equal to 4, there are 4 stars. For I equal to 3, there are 3 stars. So now you discard this. So at the first condition, okay, at the first condition, since there is no number here, since there is no number, only stars. So at the first condition, you first satisfy you always first satisfy the condition for the first condition that I told you. Basically, this I should determine the number of elements that will be there in the each row. So if you do this, if you start with this way, then basically now you discard this I starting from 1 to 5. You discarded it, and you consider that I will start I will start from 5 and go to 1. And in that case, I have a more direct direct relationship between my value of I and the number of elements in each row. So now you are okay with it, right? So now after finding this initially, you may have to change it. There is a but we are doing it in a step by step. Okay. So let's say you find it. You found it. I equal to 5 to 1. Now you are stick with it. You are saying that I will go with it. My outer loop will start from 5 and end at 1. Now what about the inner loop? Now since there is no number here, right? Since there is no number, but you can see that if I since there is 5 stars, so I have to print some. I have to run a loop that will execute 5 times, and each time I will print a star. Basically, that is the idea. Since there is no number, there is no numbering is there, only stars. So there are 5 stars. So if I run a loop that will start from 1 and end at I. So if it starts from 1 and ending at I, basically whatever value is I, whatever the value of I will be at that corresponding row. So for this row, first row, value of I is 5. So my j will start from 1 and end at 5. So basically my loop will run 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My loop will run 5 times. And for each time, if I print, I have to only do what? I have to only print a star. And after this first iteration, so I have to also since there is only next line involved. So after the inner loop, I have to write a statement that will print the next line. And again my I will now this 5 to decrease to it will decrease. Value of I will decrease to 4, and my j will start from 1 and end at I, and my value of I for value of I is now 4. So my loop will execute what? 4 times, and each time I will just print the star. So you can see you found the pattern. You found the pattern now. How my inner loop will look. How to define the inner loop. So just go with it now. So here I will write the inner loop. It will be? J equals to 1. Now j less than equals to I j plus s. Okay. Now you can see this is the outer loop. This is my outer loop. I equal to 5. I less than equal to 1. And always when you are decreasing, when your value is starting from 5 to ending at 1. So now it is a decreasing order, right? So in decreasing order, always put I minus 1. If you put here I plus plus, whatever, so you will get 0 marks. Okay, you will get 0 marks because this will, if you put I plus plus here, this loop will go to an infinite loop. Okay, this will be an infinite loop. The program will never end. You will never get the output. So now this is your inner loop. I j equal to 1, j less than equal to I. And for each time, what you will do? You will system dot out dot print, not print nl. Okay, print a star. You have to print a star along with a print a star along with a space. Right? Basically, after star there is a space. You can see here. So you have to print the space. If you close the inner loop, this is the inner loop is closed. Now, before closing the outer loop, since there is you have to come to the next line also after executing after printing the elements in each row. This is basically inner loop, and this inner loop is printing the starts in each row. So after each row, you have to come to the next row, right? Otherwise, all these starts will again print to the same row. It will print in the same row. So you have to write the statement that is println, and you do not have to put anything. It will just automatically get the cursor to the next line. So this is your outer loop, this is the body, and this is it. The program. Basically, this is the main program. You have to write also class and all that, and you have to also declare the variable I and j. And now this is fine. Okay. So you see this kind of question. Now another homework I am giving you. This is the homework number 1. Another homework. After solving this, the second problem that I just shown you try to solve it in this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. So now there is a space in there. Okay, there is a space in between. Mind it, and you have tried to print this. Write a program to print this pattern. Logic is basically will be the same. Now let us come to this question. Okay. Now first, what you have to count? What you have to see how many rows are there. So there are 5 rows. That is okay. Now after determining the rows, you determine how many numbers are there in each row. So there are 5 numbers. In this row, there are 4 numbers. In this row, there are 3 numbers, 2 numbers. Basically, this hashtag is basically representing, whenever I am writing here hashtag means number. Okay. So there are 1 number. Now, try to find the outer loop. So you can see that since this number is decreasing, so it is better to start with I equal to 5 and get and till down to I equal to 1. So that is okay. So now you see my I is starting from 1, my I is starting from 5 to 1. So my basically first condition, that is to determine I will determine the number of rows in number of elements in each row, is correct. This is okay. But the second condition is also there, that your I value must determine the n value. There must have to be relation. So for this row the n value is 1, for this row the n value is 2. But you can see there is no direct relation between I value of I and 1. You can see for 3 there is a direct relation, but again for 2 there is 4, 1 there is 5. So now you try to see it in another way. So you see the ending number is starting 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 is there. So the number of now we can see that although we have found the relation between the value of I and the number of elements in each row, but the relation between the value of I and the ending number for each row is not yet direct, right? The relation is not direct. तो उसको फाइंड करने के लिए हम लोग इस वैल्यू को कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग फॉर अस टू फाइंड द रिलेशन बिटवीन द एंडिंग नंबर एज वेल एज एनी नंबर टू द वैल्यू ऑफ आई. ओके, तो यहाँ पर हम लोग को दिख रहा है कि ये वैल्यू आई, ये जो एंडिंग नंबर है ये 1 है, सेकेंड रो में ये 2 है, फिर 3, फिर 4, फिर 5. So what we can do here is that we can consider it as I equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this way, we can see that the relation is found. The relation is found between the ending number of each row and the value of I corresponding. But how about now? How about now? Also the count, now count is also 5. Then there I is starting from 1 to 5. So the count is 5. Also the number of rows is 5. It is fine. Now how about now printing the inner? So now the outer loop is, now we know that I equals to 1, I less than equals to 5, I plus plus. But now what about, and we also have found the relation. So the ending part is clear. Where the loop will end for inner loop is clear for us. But how about the starting value of j? Okay, now we are talking about j. Ending value of j is now clear that j will end when it becomes equal to I. So now what about the starting value? So we can see that the starting value is 5 for each row, and it keeps decreasing. So we can do what? We can write a for loop where j starts from 5, and j stops at I, and it keeps decreasing each time. Now what happens when I equals to 1? Let me just draw a when I equals to 1. Basically, this loop will run how many times? This loop will run 5 times. Because what? Because for j equals to 5, it will get execute for j equals to 5, and then the condition is still true. So j becomes 4. Condition is now still true because 4 is less than, I value is 1, j value is 4. So 4 less than equals to 1 is true. Sorry. Okay. Here we have to put greater than equal to condition, not less than equal to. Another thing we can see here also in this program also try to put, since we are so whenever the values are decreasing, no? So not in this case. This case it is less than, but here in this flow the value is decreasing, right? So instead of less than, you try to put greater than. Otherwise it will not end, right? Because for I equal to 5 is greater than equal to 1 is true. For now I becomes 4 is greater than equals to 1 is true. Now but if you write here less than, this is not true at all, right? So that's why whenever you are decreasing in the condition, put greater than equal, not less than equal. Whenever you are increasing, put less than equal. So that is one tricky thing that you might people might forget always. So here also I am writing greater than equals to. So for I equal to 1, this inner loop will execute how many times? 5 times, because for j equal to 5 the condition is true, and j gets decreased, the condition is still true. J get decreased, the condition is still true. J gets decreased, the condition is still true. J get decreased, the condition is still true. But now when j becomes 0, the condition is false, because j is now 0 greater than equals to 1. So 0 is not greater than 1 or either equals to 1. So this condition becomes false. So how many times the loop runs for I equal to 1? 5 times. Now you can see for I equal to 2, the loop will run 3 times. Loop will run 4 times. For I equal to 3, loop will run 3 times. So this is okay. And for each time, we have to print what? We have to print the value of j, because basically j is decreasing. So j is 5, j is 4, j is 3, j is 2, j is 1. So I have to print the value of j along with a space. And since we have to come to the next line. So one thing for sure is that after writing the inner loop, you have to write the system.out.println. That is to come the cursor for this statement. The cursor will come to the next line and end the outer loop. This is the outer loop. This is the inner loop. Fine. So this is how you solve this type of question. Okay. So it was nice to see that how we. So first of all, the main thing for this kind of programs always is the to find the starting value of I and ending value of I. So you have to keep in mind the two conditions that I have said, and you have to, and the second condition of that, okay, second condition is that is must have to be true always. Okay, must have to be true. That is to find the relation, to find the direct relation, if possible, to find the direct relation between the value of I and the ending number of each row. Okay. Now there will be another video, so see that video.